Welcome back to another FPL video. Game week 38, the last game week of the season is just around the corner. In this video, I will take a look at the best punts ahead of game week 38. So we know at this point that there are some teams that have nothing to play for, while some teams will fight to avoid relegation or fight to get into European competition. So there are teams with something left to play for, and there are teams on the beach. And in this video I will take a look at which teams we should target and which players in those teams are the best punts ahead of game week 38. So let's have a look. So let's start with the teams to target. Liverpool and Bournemouth, they both fight for a spot in the Champions League next season. Liverpool, they have an advantage, but Bournemouth, I think they will give it their best in game week 38. They have looked really good recently as well, so Bournemouth definitely a team to target in game week 38. Brighton, Chelsea, Brentford, Sunderland, they are fighting for a spot in the Europa League, so I think that they will push in game week 38 as well. So they have a couple of good players, and I will have a look at them in a minute. West Ham, Spurs, really important game for both West Ham and Spurs in game week 38. So who will get relegated? At the moment, West Ham, they need a win in game week 38, and Spurs, they will really fight to avoid relegation. So there are a couple of players from West Ham and Spurs as well, and as mentioned, I will take a look at specific players in the next session. So players to avoid as well. We know Arsenal, they are the champions, and we know that they will play a final against PSG next weekend as well. So I think there will be rotation in Arsenal. If some of the players have small niggles, I think they will be rested in game week 38. Man City, nothing to play for, runners up. We saw this in game week 37 as well. They looked a bit tired. They have won the FA Cup, so they talked about this after the game as well. We saw the interview with Erling Haaland saying that the FA Cup was a really emotional win and that they were a bit tired after that game. So Man City, if you have Man City assets, you should probably just play them unless we get concrete news about them not starting, but I would not transfer in Man City assets ahead of game week 38. Maybe someone like Marmoush could be an option if we get some rumors about him starting, but at the moment I would stay away and target other teams. Crystal Palace as well, they haven't looked really good recently. I'm a bit surprised seeing the Crystal Palace deliver in the league. I was actually expecting Crystal Palace to rotate even more, but we have seen Sarr, we have seen Munoz start the last couple of games for Crystal Palace, but in game week 38 we might see rotation. We know that they will play an the final in the Europa League on Wednesday, so only 3 days after the last game week of the FPL season, so we might see rotation in that Crystal Palace team as well. Man United on the beach, I have especially Bruno Fernandes. I think he will give it his best. He can potentially beat the assist record if he gets one assist in the last game of the game week. I think his teammates are pretty keen for him to get this record as well, so we might at least see attacking football from Man United in the last game. Aston Villa, Newcastle, Everton, Fulham, Leeds and Nottingham Forest, they don't really have anything to play for, so they are on the beach. So I would actually avoid those teams, but of course it matters who they will play against in game week 38 as well. So let's have a look at this. As mentioned, the opposition is of course really important in game week 38. Brighton playing at home against Man United. I think this potentially could be a good fixture for Brighton. So Man United, as mentioned, they don't really have much to fight for in game week 38. They have secured a spot in the Champions League, but I think that Bruno Fernandes will be really keen to get that assist record. So Brighton and Man United, I think there will be goals in this picture. When it comes to Burnley, Wolves, I actually think that Burnley and Wolves could be good punts. Both teams are of course relegated, but they have some love-owned players, really good price as well. So I will include Burnley and Wolves players when I discuss players later in this video. So Crystal Palace against Arsenal, I would actually avoid those teams. As mentioned with Man City, if you have Arsenal players, not saying that we definitely should sell them unless we get concrete news about them not starting. So they have 1 week between game week 38 and the final against PSG. So players like Gabriel could start in game week 38 as well. So we will most probably get more team information ahead of the deadline. So pay attention to the press conferences. Fulham against Newcastle, 2 teams on the beach, and we might see rotation when it comes to Liverpool against Brentford. I actually think that Liverpool, this could be a really good fixture for Liverpool. Man City, Aston Villa, I would avoid them. Nottingham Forest against Bournemouth, I would avoid Nottingham Forest in this fixture. I think Bournemouth will do really well. They have looked really good, as mentioned earlier in this video, and Bournemouth, they are favorites against Nottingham Forest in game week 38. So Spurs, a team to target at home, really important game for Spurs to avoid relegation. So I think Spurs will give it their best at home against Everton, and they have nothing to play for. Sunderland against Chelsea, and at the bottom we can see West Ham in the same situation as Spurs. They need to win this fixture to avoid relegation. So playing against Leeds with nothing to play for, I think West Ham players could be targeted in game week 38. So let's have a look at specific players from those teams as well. So first out, Liverpool. I think Szoboszlai could be a good punt for game week 38 on most set pieces, and I think that he will start. Van Dijk, he has played every minute so far in the 25-26 season, and I think he will continue and start in game week 38 as well. Salah could be a punt. I'm not bringing Salah into my own team, but of course for nostalgic reasons it might be interesting to bring in Mo Salah for his last game. He is of course one of the best FPL players we have ever seen, so of course if you want to bring in Mo Salah and if you have the funds available, it could be a fun punt in game week 38. From Bournemouth, I think Krupi Jr. could be a really good option. He's not a 90 minutes man, but he's on penalties for Bournemouth. They have a good fixture. I think he can do well. Evan Nilsson, he has looked really good recently for Bournemouth as well. And Hill, of course, if you need a value defender, Hill could be a good option as well. He's one of those players that has attacking threat. He can pick up defensive contribution points, so Hill is a really good option in game week 38. From Brighton, they are one of the teams with something to play for, and they play against a team that is on the beach. So Welbeck, Hinchelwood, I think they are really good options. Of course, Pascal Gross as well could be interesting, but Welbeck, Hinchelwood would be my favorite Brighton assets at the moment. Chelsea, if you need a new defender, Cucurella, he could be interesting. He has looked really threatening recently. He passes the eye test. He's joining in the attack for Chelsea, so he could be an option. Cole Palmer as well on penalties for Chelsea. And Chelsea, they have a good fixture playing against Sunderland with nothing to play for. So I think actually, I know that Chelsea haven't been in their best form, but this could be a good fixture for Chelsea. Brentford, Igor Thiago, Django Tara would be my picks. From Sunderland, big differential, Brobbey, Granit Xhaka could actually be another option on some set pieces. Can pick up defensive contribution points. Maybe a bit boring bringing in Xhaka in game week 38, but if you really want a Sunderland player, he could be a solid option. When it comes to West Ham, I think that Somerville is a really good option. They have a really good fixture in game week 38 to avoid relegation, so West Ham could be one of the best teams to target. So Jared Bowen up front. I think Tati Castellanos as well could be a really good option. On this list I have Jared Bowen and Somerville. I think Castellanos is a really good option up front as well if you can't afford Jared Bowen. From Spurs, Richarlison starting up front will most probably take penalties as well, and Pedro Porro if you need a new defender. So especially West Ham and Spurs, I think this is a really good time to target those teams. They will give it their best to avoid relegation. Burnley, I mentioned them. The picture is really not that important. We know that both Burnley and Wolves, they are both relegated, but I think there will be goals in this fixture. So Fleming playing up front for Burnley and on penalties, and if you need a new midfielder, Anthony could be a really good differential for game week 38. So the last team, Wolves, If you need a new defender, Mosquera is actually one of the defenders with the highest expected goal involvement. So if you're on a budget, if you need a new defender, Mosquera could be an option. Same goes for their forward Mane, really good value, only priced at 4.2 actually. So if you need an enabler up front, Mane could be a good punt. So playing against Burnley, and I think there will be goals in this fixture. So please let me know in the comments down below who will be your transfer in ahead of game week 38. I will create content on the World Cup Fantasy game as well, so if you're interested in playing World Cup Fantasy, subscribe to the channel for content about that tournament. So once again, thanks for watching. Please consider giving this video a like, and hopefully I'll see you in the 26-27 season as well.